The baselines and foul lines are stamped in fresh white chalk. I've taken Damon and two of his closest friends, Kyle and Keith, to a night game against the Boston Red Sox. The stadium is packed, the fight songs blaring and the beer flowing, as befits these longtime arch rivals. But the three teens don't really care. They enjoy the aesthetics and ambiance of the game as much as the competition. Check out the body paint dudes. Keith points at the bleachers where 7 rowdy males spell "Go Yanks" in bold lettering across bare torsos. I think they're drunk. Kyle wrinkles her nose at the beefy, soft-bellied roisterers. Man with crazy chef's hat, 6 o'clock. Damon gestures 3 rows ahead, where a fan sits in a billowing, brimless white hat. The Mad Hatter is blocking the view. It's called a toque. Kyle corrects Damon with her sweet Natalie Portman smile. Duh. I think it's a mascot for Sheffield. He's the chef. Keith interjects, correcting Kyle. Really? Whatever. Kyle giggles as she takes in the information. Hey, Dad, can we get Cracker Jacks? Kyle needs brain food. Kyle is Damon's oldest and closest friend, a girl he rescued in kindergarten when the school bus dropped her off at the wrong stop. They're the same age, but Damon is a grade ahead, which makes him the sage elder. Now, almost 13, Kyle changes her hair color every week. Today it's purple with blonde streaks, and she wears bangles and bracelets and layers of colorful clothing. She's bright, vital, and quite beautiful. But her identity shifts like a kaleidoscope, with a propensity toward the darker hues. The Cracker Jacks arrive in a giant box, and Kyle and Keith dive in looking for the prize. If it's a ring, it's mine. Keith smiles. Keith is a tall, wiry African-American, wry, sensitive, and hyper-articulate. He and Damon attend SOC together. Handsome and fine-featured, like a model, Keith lives alone with his young single mother in Harlem and spends weekends with his grandmother in Queens. Okay, guys, we need to root for the Yankees, Damon announces late in the game. I think they're losing. He checks the scoreboard. And we don't want my dad to go home unhappy. And indeed, after 8 lackluster innings, the Yanks rally and pull out the game with 2 home runs in the bottom of the 9th. The stadium erupts. Damon and I exchange excited high fives, connecting in the moment's primitive ecstasy. Although not a committed fan, Damon appreciates raw emotion and the thrill of the come from behind. And he's impressed by my militant cheerleading for someone other than him. As he embraces Kyle in the pandemonium, I note he looks a little hamstrung, as if nursing an injury. I wonder if it's the after effects of his fight. 5 weeks earlier, Damon came home from school with deep cuts and a grapefruit-sized swelling across his forehead. He'd gotten into an altercation with the school bully, a humongous lout, twice his size. This kid kept shoving me and trying to get in my face, Damon explained. He bumped me with his chest. Come on, little guy, fight me. I told him I wasn't afraid of him, but I didn't want to fight, so I started to walk away when he rushed me from behind and smashed my head against the cafeteria table. I never saw him coming. Damon sustained contusions, a hematoma, and a concussion. Head injuries, even in healthy people, are notoriously complex, as both Sheila and I know. Sheila did research on war veterans with head wounds at the Radcliffe Infirmary Neuropsychology Unit at Oxford, where we met, and I boxed for Oxford University and learned about concussions firsthand. We kept Damon at home while I initiated disciplinary action against his attacker, a notorious troublemaker, and made sure this could never happen again. Damon appeared physically traumatized, yet stubbornly proud. Incised, with fresh, deep wounds he's worn since like a badge of honor.